Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for selecting this video. This is a fun little series of stretches that I've put together for the shoulders. So this was a request and I was really excited about it because I am very passionate about my tight shoulders. So I have very tight shoulders and I still have tight shoulders. I practice flexibility a lot and I help coach others with flexibility and mobility, but we are human, right? And I have incredibly tight shoulders. And my issue, you've probably heard me say before, is from an injury. I have a ruptured disc, which has led to a lot of shoulder issues. So this is near and dear to my heart when, dealing with tight shoulders, there's a lot of things that come along with that. So there's many different things that we could focus on for the shoulders, and we will down the road. I'm going to do videos for that. There's shoulder strength and stability, and there's deep shoulder stretches. But today, we're going to focus on just some love for the shoulders. That's what these stretches are meant for. So they're not going to be very intense. They're going to be really gentle, very restorative. So this is perfect if you have really tight shoulders and maybe you're like, I just need a little bit of movement, but nothing too crazy. Or maybe you're like, my shoulders are fine, but maybe you've been training hard and you've been working in floor work like planks, or maybe you've been doing overhead work, shoulder presses, and maybe your shoulders are sore and you need something to help support them. Either way, this is going to be focused on some shoulder care, some shoulder love. We're just going to spend a little bit of time breathing deeply and giving our shoulders a little cozy hug, literally, actually, at one point. So I hope you enjoy this. Come join me. We're going to stay low to the ground today. So if that's not comfortable for you to work from the floor, you can definitely do a lot of these seated. So just make sure you're somewhere comfortable, whether it's down on the floor, whether it's in a chair, or you can even do a lot of these in bed probably. And wear something comfy, have some water nearby, and we're going to get started. Okay, so once you're in your nice comfy seat, we're just going to start by deepening our breath. First of all, we always start with this in our flexibility training so that we can get some oxygen to our muscles. Today, we're getting that oxygen to our shoulders. It's going to help us to get the most out of this movement. You set aside the time, you showed up, you're here. So we want to make sure that we get the most out of this. So go ahead and when you're ready, just take a big breath in. And then a nice slow exhale out. Awesome job. This might sound counterintuitive, but on an inhale, we're going to shrug shoulders up by the ears. And as you exhale, let them drop down nice and gentle. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in, let your shoulders come up, even though we're always saying the opposite. And then exhale, let them relax. It's nice to be able to feel your shoulders relax down, isn't it? A little bit goes a long way. A big breath in and out, and dropping our shoulders can do so much. We're going to keep that deep breath going as we move through our stretches. Go ahead and bring your hands down, your fingertips down to the floor. Nice and easy. We're just going to get these shoulders warmed up. So to support us in this movement, we're going to pay attention to our posture, pulling belly button in towards the spine. That's just going to kind of lengthen lower back, lengthen tailbone down, and just make sure that we're up nice and tall and rolling those shoulders back and down. Actually, let's do that a couple of times here. Rolling shoulders back and down, really feeling them in space, bringing them up, back together, dropping them down. One more time like that. Awesome. Finding that nice tall posture. On a big breath in, just float your arms up. Reach up towards the sky. Look up. Exhale. Float them down nice and easy. And if you're like me and you have a particularly tight shoulder, we're not calling anything out here. We're just saying we're human. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, float them down. You might find that one arm comes down a little faster than the other. We are human, and that's okay. That's why we're here, right? We're working on these things. You're doing great. Awesome job. One more time like that. Big breath in, reach up, look up. Exhale, float your arms down. Awesome. We're going to do a little bit of a flow. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to take one movement, connect it into the next, and we're going to try to breathe deeply. If you can match your breath with the movement, inhale on a move, exhale on the next move, great. But if you're like, whoa, that's a lot, I can't get quite that deep of a breath or breathe that quickly, that's okay. Just keep breathing deep. But what we're going to do is lift our arms up to shoulder height. And if anything doesn't feel good in this series of movement, especially if you are coming to this video with an injury, or if you're coming with very tight, angry, frustrated shoulders, then please, please, please listen to your body. I don't want you to feel any pain. I want this to feel good for your shoulders, for your whole body. So if something doesn't feel right, like even if we come here and you're like, oh, my shoulders can't do that, you can bend your elbows, take a modification, find what feels amazing for your body today. And if all else fails, just come to a stretch that you know feels good, or maybe just come back here and just rest and breathe deeply for a little bit until we can get back together in a stretch that feels good. Okay. Enough talking, enough of my lecturing. Go ahead and bring your arms out to the side, and then we're going to give ourselves a big hug, holding onto the backs of your shoulders, and drop your chin to your chest. And then on an inhale, unwind, unravel like you just woke up, stretching up, reaching hands up, looking up, and then exhale, float them on down. So inhale, bring your arms to shoulder height. Exhale, give yourself a big hug, drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, unravel, reach up, stretch. Exhale, float arms down again. Awesome, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach arms to shoulder height. Exhale, give yourself a big hug, maybe opposite arm on top this time. Drop chin to chest. Inhale, unravel, stretch up. Maybe we lean back a little bit, stretching through the belly. Exhale, float your arms down. I pointed out that arm difference, and now it seems very obvious when I see my reflection in the camera. Big breath in, reach arms to shoulder height. Exhale, give yourself a big hug, drop chin to chest. Inhale, unravel, reach up, look up. Exhale, float your arms down, nice and easy. Awesome job. All right, our shoulders are moving a little bit now. We're gonna do a big shoulder stretch. So it's not a big shoulder stretch in terms of movement, but it's a deep shoulder stretch, especially for tight shoulders. This is one of my personal favorites. For me, when my shoulder is extremely tight, and it gets us into upper back and into the lats as well. So I have 2 options though. If the full movement does not feel good for you, we're going to do what we just did. So you're going to reach your arms back and reach them back behind you a little bit. Let's start to pull those shoulder blades together. And then go ahead and you'll give yourself a big hug. And you'll really try to hold on to the backs of your shoulder blades like you're trying to pull them apart. And then you can drop your chin to your chest. The second option, if you have it in your range today, we're going to reach arms back behind us. And then we're going to go ahead and bring one arm underneath the other. And we're going to sort of almost twist them together. Okay, so if you can't come into like a full perfect twist, that's not what we're aiming for. We just want to go ahead and twist arms together at the elbows, bringing hands together. And right away, just here, you're going to feel that really big shoulder opener. But alternatively, we can come to that hug if this does not feel good. Wherever we are, we'll drop chin to chest. We're nice and tall through the back, so just check in with your posture. Pulling shoulders down. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out here. Good. If you're in the hug, you're going to stay where you are. Breathe deep. If you're in the twist, you're going to pull your shoulders down and try to lift your elbows. You're not actually going to move your elbows, really. We're just going to squeeze together, feeling that in the upper back for 2 cycles of breath, nice and slow. And then everyone go ahead and unravel. Bring your arms back behind you, maybe a little farther this time. And then we're going to do the same thing, opposite arm on top, whether we're in that hug, whether we're in that twist. Drop chin to chest, pull your shoulders down, breathe deeply. My friends that are hugging, stay where you are. If you're in the twist, go ahead and start to try to lift the elbows, squeezing together for 2 cycles of breath. This isn't easy, stick with it. And exhale, go ahead this time, reach up like we did before, look up, and then let your arms come down. Awesome job. We're gonna come forward onto all fours now. We're gonna do this nice big shoulder stretch, but again, we're just gonna take it easy here. So if this doesn't feel good, then we can make an adjustment, but go ahead and come to your table. So we're gonna try to bring our knees about underneath hip points. And we're gonna reach our hands far forward. And then we're gonna go ahead and kind of like you're melting your forehead down towards the floor, but your tailbone is gonna come up in the air here. This is a really big shoulder stretch. So if this is uncomfortable for you, then go ahead and drop your elbows down. You can narrow the placement of your arms. You can pull them in a little bit so they're not quite so far out. Make an adjustment however you need to. And take a few deep breaths in and out. If it feels good, you can add a gentle rocking. That might feel nice on the forehead as well as in the shoulders. Good. One more big breath in. And exhale out. Awesome job. You can look forward. We're going to come up here and then gently bring your hands back to your tabletop. Now we're going to do a similar stretch, but it's going to be a little bit more restorative for the shoulders. So options here, we can bring our 2 big toes together to touch, and then knees can come as wide as your mat as you sit back on your heels. If you're like, this is for shoulders, I did not ask for a hip stretch today, then go ahead and bring your knees together and sit back on your heels. You're still going to get a really nice stretch in the legs and the quads and a little bit of compression on the belly, which is sometimes nice. So take whichever option you like. We're going to reach our hands forward again and bring our forehead down to the floor again. It's not going to be as far forward that we're reaching because we're sitting back on our heels. But if this is still too much to have your elbows lifted, go ahead and lower them. And another modification, we can bend at the elbows and bring our hands under our forehead like a pillow. That's going to be the most relaxing for the shoulders. So whatever you need here, we're going to be here for a few deep breaths. So take whichever modification feels good. And then again, we could add that gentle rocking left to right. Awesome job. Go ahead and walk your hands over, if you're reaching your hands forward, to the right side of your mat, maybe off the mat a little bit, and bring your left hand on top. Stretching out that left shoulder down the side body. And exhale, walk your hands over to the left. Bring the right hand on top. and back to center. Now, keeping the left hand where it is, you can thread the right arm underneath the left. Either stay on your elbow, or maybe we come all the way onto right ear, right shoulder, reaching that left hand forward. So we're stretching both shoulders here. And a little gentle spinal twist as a bonus. Breathe deeply. And then on an exhale, go ahead and switch. Threading left arm underneath the right, maybe coming all the way down into left ear, left shoulder. A couple cycles of breath. On the exhale, go ahead and release that, either stretching both arms out in front or bringing hands underneath your forehead. We're going to take 2 more cycles of breath here, nice and slow. And then gently look up, and we'll gently come up onto our palms and walk our hands back. We're going to swing our legs to one side, come through a seat, and we're actually going to do our final move down on our backs. So if being down on your back is not ideal for you right now, no problem. You can stay in the stretch we were just in, or find one of the previous stretches that we did and linger there for a few breaths to close out. Otherwise, we're going to come down onto the floor. And when you get there, we're just going to go ahead and hug both knees up to our chest, rocking back and forth on the lower back, little bonus massage for the lower back. And then go ahead and guide with your right hand, guide both your knees over towards the right. Let them fall to the right. We're coming into a big spinal twist, but we're going to reach left hand, palm face down if we can, out towards the left. If that's too much on your shoulder, go ahead and bring your palm face up. That'll take a little bit of that pressure off. Either way, we're going to try to press that shoulder blade down so that it's touching the floor if we can. And then maybe we turn on our left ear to look at our left hand. Completing our twist. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out here, nice and slow. And then we can go ahead and bring our knees through center and over towards the other side, guiding them over towards the left. Extending right arm out, either palm face up if our shoulders need a little extra room, or palm face down. Trying to pull that shoulder blade down to the floor. And then turn on your right ear to look at your right hand. Breathe deeply. Good, and then you can go ahead and release. Bring your knees through center, hug them up to your chest, and then you can go ahead and bring your feet down. And we can gently, slowly, without seeing stars, make our way back up to the seat. Sit up nice and tall, see how you're feeling. Maybe your shoulders are craving a little bit more. Maybe we can do a couple of shoulder rolls. Maybe we take one more big breath in together, reach up again, stretch up, exhale, float your arms down. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I hope your shoulders are feeling loved. Revisit this whenever you need some gentle shoulder care, if you need to recover, if you need to prep your shoulders, or if you're just working on loosening them up. There will be more shoulder content to come for sure. Like this video, revisit it when you need it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I release new videos pretty much every week, so stay tuned. And as always, drop in the comments how this helped you, if you liked this video, or if you are looking for something, if you have suggestions for future content. I love to hear from you guys. Until next time, much love. Take care.